Star Wars Episode 8. I saw this movie last night. Um, and I don't know anyone else except for the person I saw it with, anyone else's opinion on this movie. So, this is all my opinion. So, a movie like this is really hard to review because I've been a Star Wars fan for pretty much my whole life. And, you know, so seeing it, I kind of see it as different than other movies. And then, when I was watching it in the theater last night, I was just enjoying it. I wasn't thinking as I would with other movies. So I want to give it. I want to say I liked it and it was a good movie, but I really need to see it several more times. I think to know if I think it's good or not, because I definitely enjoyed the movie. Um, I thought it was real fun and stuff, but there's still something about it that just doesn't seem quite right to me. And I don't know exactly what it is. Um, but all that said, here's just what I thought about the movie just after one viewing. So, if you haven't seen the one before this, um, it's not going to work as well. You're not going to know who the characters are. It's not going to make much sense. So you definitely have to see the one before this. Um, but when it came to the characters, all the characters, um, they were this like how they were in the last one. They're all real good. Um, all the actors bring a lot of energy to it, make the characters, make you actually care about the characters, unlike the prequels. So, it did that well, of keeping those characters we liked from the last one, and keeping the same energy, and then kind of adding some of the characters like Ray and um, Kylo and Luke Skywalker. Um, Definitely have more things going on with them in this movie than they did previous movies. So, it adds more layers to the characters, and I think that's a good thing. Because if they were just you know the same as they were, didn't change at all, um, then the movie would then what would be the point? So, uh, but the thing there was some of the conflict between Ray and Kylo was really interesting, because both of them at times um, kind of they're it's not so clear cut, like, okay, there's good, bad. Um, this person's definitely good. This person's definitely bad. Because even Luke kind of sees in Ray that maybe she could end up like Kylo, even though So there's always that thing like, maybe someone. I don't know. I'm not explaining it very well. Anywho, so characters, I give thumbs up. Now the story, um, the way the story goes is very interesting because it's a little different than the other Star Wars movies, because it's mostly just this one event, um, and it cuts back from this one event and then to Rey and Luke and Kylo, and then it cuts back to this event, and it kind of going back and forth between the things, and then just kind of this side quest that um, Finn goes on, which is kind of out of place. Um, I'll just go into that real quick. This is kind of a spoiler, but not really. But they basically go to Space Vegas. It's so weird. Um, it feels way too much like Earth. Um, and I don't really know. Overall, it doesn't really add much to the movie. But anyways, um, so yeah, most of the Star Wars movies take place over like several days, and I think that this movie it could have been days, but it's really just this one event. It's not like this little thing here and then a day later this little thing happens and it kind of leads up to something. It's all just this one event. That's the very beginning of the movie, is the start of it, and then the end of the movie is the end of this just one thing. And I thought that was kind of cool. And then Ray and Luke all kind of end up joining back with everyone else in the movie. So I felt like this one was a lot more original. Um, and yeah, it kept it very very fast paced. The movie never lets down. The movie's never boring. It's it's well edited because it's got a great pace. Um, you know the it doesn't it doesn't feel rushed at all. Um, it but also it doesn't drag. You know, so well paced out. Well, I give thumbs up for that. Um, and overall, yeah, the movie just it has good intensity. Um, Very exciting throughout the whole movie, and it keeps you intrigued. I was never bored during this movie, unlike Rogue One, where there was that whole middle where I was just like, I don't care what's happening. It's a 2.5 hour movie. It's a little long, but you're interested the whole movie. Um, so yeah, thumbs up. Now the tone of the movie is a little inconsistent. At sometimes it's trying to be really funny, and then other times it doesn't go super dark, but it's more serious. And I think for the most part, it's done well. It's blended well together. Unlike It, that was one of my biggest problems. It was like too funny and then it was too dark. This movie it blends it pretty well, but sometimes the humor it it doesn't feel like Star Wars humor. It just feels like something you see in just a 2015 movie, like 2017 movie. And I feel like Star Wars is more than just it's something that you know goes through generations, and it feels very modern in the way the comedy is. Everyone making little quips here and there and doing little, oh, you hand me a lightsaber, I'm gonna throw it over my shoulder, things like that. Way like I think it feels like Marvel started it, like um, the kind of everyone's kind of got to make little remarks here and there, and yeah. Anyways, um, but I mean, it is a pretty decently funny movie. Um, there's one scene where like Chewbacca is like, I'm not gonna go into it, but it was pretty well done. Um, Now, the look of the movie is really good. There's a little less practical effects in this one than there was the last one, but it all still looks pretty good. The set design is really good. The costume design. Um, so yeah, visually it's all well done. It feels like a Star Wars movie. There's a lot of familiar stuff, that reminds you of the original trilogy. Like C-3PO and stormtroopers and stuff. But there's also a lot of really new stuff that you've never seen before in a Star Wars movie. So it keeps things original, um, but also keeps it classic at the same time. Uh, so yeah, I mean overall, I say it was enjoyable. It looked good. The music was good. Um, the story was fun. The characters were good. But I don't know. There's just something about it that just didn't feel quite right. I don't know if it was just because it's just a new Star Wars movie and it's just it's something I'm not used to seeing part of this universe, because I think that's kind of how I felt about when Force Awakens came out. Or maybe maybe there's something like actually like really terrible about this movie, but I'm just watching Star Wars, so I don't even notice it. But either way, I mean, I think Star Wars fans are gonna enjoy it. I think I think pretty much the general audience are Star Wars fans. So I think most people are going to enjoy it. If you've never seen Star Wars before, you probably wouldn't like this at all. Um, and I'm curious to see what other critics have to say about it. Um, because I thought it was good. I don't know. So tell me what you thought about it if anyone actually watches this. And that's all I got to say about that.